Shit on the rip, nigga. I'm positioning now that we flip, nigga. High as a bitch on the syrup, I sip, nigga. I can afford it cause I am a rich nigga. I'm on the floor, fuck my shit, nigga. Feel like the wall, should let me hit no fight to the wall. On my wrist, tryna ride the ball. What's going on, guys? Missing the midday. It's been a long time. What up, Slay? What up, Logan Erlacher? My boys. Let's lower this out. Things to talk about today. There's football in the world. Hey, decided to come on to wanted to talk about a couple of things around football. Try to avoid what's going on in this world, this dirty old world. The things that are going on. Well, hey, a couple of things came up in the last day and a half. Been on my mind. Figured I'd jump on here. Well, we have some changes. We have Joe Shane and Dabo already leaving their mark as they're down at the combines. And what's going on, LA Sports? Yeah, I'm going to open up the lines in a little bit, guys. What's up, Taj? How you doing? Thanks for joining me, all you. I will open up the lines. We will do a one-on-one. Give people a chance to talk without being cut off. And I just wanted to schmooze a little bit myself first. And I promised I would send this out to Adam also. What we have here is we're down at the combines as they're about to get started. I believe it's tomorrow. And there's some changes already being made. What up, Frankie G? Thanks for joining the stream today. My thing is that look, what's going on, Mr. Dabo? Rudolph has been cut. No shock to anyone. Adios. Thanks for robbing us out of a season as you looked like a land turtle running your routes. Guy made one good reception the entire season. Let's be honest. The guy Rudolph was a total waste. What's up, Rig? What's going on, my brother? So you scrape out some dirty rust. Yeah, Rudolph's gone. And Booker. You had some guys believing Booker was part of the future. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who in their right mind thought Booker was anything more than a guy who we brought in 1 year to fill up a spot. That's the type of guy that, will be passed around the league as a backup until he can't do it anymore. And so that's two guys gone. Well, what else you have is there'll be more cuts coming. I was reading in the paper, Bradbury's up for the trade if they can find a partner. If not, he might get cut. You rather trade him. You'll take a 4th-round pick for Bradbury because of his contract that you're going to have to try to unload on someone. That's pretty much the biggest part of the deal for us. But if you get back a 4th or a 5th, and I understand that round doesn't match the talent that Bradbury is, but again, you're looking to just unload the money. And if you could get back, like I said, you take something smaller just to unload. So you take a 5th rounder, maybe a mid-round 4th. As many picks as we can collect, obviously, more capital, the faster we build this team. And I expect more cuts. So the 2 cut today is a beautiful start. And The guys are down at the combine. I believe the combines get started tomorrow. I'll be honest with you. I look at the combine as just another showcase for the NFL. I don't feel the combines are really important. I feel that a lot of people overrate them. We are so football thirsty, especially with baseball being the piece of shit that it is. We are so football thirsty that we take the combines and try to turn it into a big event, something to feed on and get us real hungry, a snack before the big draft, right? And I guess free agency before that, right? Free agency. I look at the combines as something that's kind of fun to watch. Me personally, being that I'm a gym rat and a bodybuilder, I like to see these guys' athletic ability. I like to see them sometimes. I know this sounds stupid, but without the shirts on, see what the body looks like. The body tells you a lot. How cut, how jacked, how ripped, how fast. If some guy can jump an inch more than the other guy, I don't really look at that and say, well, this guy jumped a half an inch further, so I'm taking him ahead of the other guy in the draft. That's nonsense. That's just the stupidity you hear from guys. Some of these guys on TV are absolute clowns, man. Some of these guys on TV are clowns. They really don't understand football, the real deep ins and outs, like some of us in here. Like most of you guys in the chat deserve the job talking about football and analyzing these prospects coming out before some of these guys that are in suits. It's just that they're pretty boys in suits, and I guess they fulfilled their degree. Not all, some. And then you have players who retire and they are brought in to the broadcasting department, analyzing. Some of them, I guess, can turn into scouts. Now, they played the game. They know the game. They played it their whole lives. They know players. So they have real hands-on experience. But some of these guys out there, man, I'll tell you, Jeremiah, man, the guy had a draft, and he changes it a week later, okay? And he reversed, I believe it was Evan Neal. He dropped him a few spots. Now, I'll tell you right now, I have an eye for football. I played the game, not in the NFL, but I played high school. I played in leagues after that, and I played in leagues before that. And I understand the game, and I'm sure each one of us has our own view on understanding the game. And that doesn't make someone like me or you more knowledgeable. But sometimes you look at players that are coming into the draft, okay? You could take a look at a guy's physical ability, his body, the way he plays. Is he a finesse player? Is he a vicious physical player? In certain positions, it matters. And you just have the eyes and you just know. And you know what? It doesn't matter if this guy runs a step slower than the other guy in the 440 come stupid combines. All right? Or this guy jumped or ran a post, a quarter of a yard off from the other guy. Or he stretched and caught a ball with his tippy toes on the sideline. Man, these guys are all American athletes that are coming into the league. And if you're a football player, you're a football player, man. All right? And these guys analyze every stupid little thing. Like, Evan Neal to me is a number one draft pick in this draft. It hasn't changed for me in 3 months, and it's not going to change come April 26th. Is that the draft night, I believe. It's not going to change for me. Evan Neal is going number one in this draft, according to me. Can I be wrong? Yes. Hey, what can I say? Sue me. I got Evan Neal going number one to the Jaguars. It's a need. The guy's a beast. He's the best tackle in the draft. And if Equano's a little better than him, it's pretty close. He can become better than him in the NFL. This guy's coming out of the big-time college. He went against the big-time guys. And to me, he's going number one. And that's another thing. This tackle is a running blocker better than he's a pass blocker. This tackle is the best pass blocker, but he doesn't know how to run block. Stop it. When you're the best in the country, you are going to be all around the best. And if you lack at something, don't worry. They're going to develop you in that area. That's what you do in football. You're lacking at a little something. You have a hard time jumping out of your stands in the run game. Well, we're going to work on that. You don't drop 10 spots because someone assumes that you're not a good run blocker. That's all bullshit. And that's my problem with some of these. So the guy Jeremiah changes his draft in a week and a half. What happened in that week and a half? What happened? Was there any sporting event? Was there any combine? And again, the combines are overrated. What happened in that week that you had to change your mock? Just for the hell of it, you had to change your mock just for the hell of it because you felt like making mock 2.0 out of the next 18 mocks that you're going to make? That's why you don't make 20 mocks. That's why you wait till you get to April. Like if I did a mock, it's going to be one mock. You'll catch it in mid-April. How about that? I'm not doing a mock every week. Mock 1.0, mock 2.0, mock 5.0, mock 10.0. You look stupid because you got to change things up just because you did another mock to make it interesting for people. Guess what that's called? Bullshit. All right? So this guy changed his mock according to what? I want to know what. According to what? You didn't say why you dropped this guy 4 spots. What? Did he climb out of bed and farted lower than the other guy? The other guy farts louder? Come on. Give me a real reason, man. Don't make bullshit mocks. You know what? Just wait. It's all clickbait. But getting back to the football Giants. 2 guys are gone. There'll be more. I'm hoping for trade so we could get back something. It doesn't have to be first, second, third round. You could give me middle round picks. Just give me more. Let's get as many young players as we can get in here this summer. Because I'll be honest, man, you listen to Joe Shane talk, man's educated. Man is very smart. Man understands football. I like it. He gets it. He looks the part. He's not an arrogant prick. Now, there's things they're not going to tell you, so he might give you a beat around the bush answer because it's for the better of our team not to let out what your plans are right now, obviously. And right, like the Patriots have done for years. How are you, Dylan Bosch? Thanks for joining us. I am going to get to Barkley momentarily. That's where I was getting to. And Joe Shane has a plan, and he has a clue. You could see it. And he's not sitting there in the office and barking out stuff and trusting scouts. He's out there leading the scouting himself. He's down at the combines. He's involved in going to watch these prospects. He meets with them. He has a plan. And I like that he won't commit himself to anybody. Because when you come into a new team that's been a loser for all these years, almost a decade, we've been bad. Gotta face it. We hate to admit it. We've been awful. I mean, the last 4 years, you make the case we are the trash, the doormat of the NFL, man. And that's hard to do when you have teams like the Lions, Jaguars, and the Browns. And the Browns had a nice little year last year, but I don't think the Browns are any big-time team themselves. I mean, that window can shut quicker than you think. You're coming in, and I'll be the first guy to admit I backed up David Gettleman 100%. I always blamed the owners, and I blamed everything around them, and I thought that they didn't allow him the keys to do what he wants to do. And I'll sit here and I'll eat my crow, and I know Adam's out there waiting to give it to me. I'll be the first person to admit I was wrong. David Gettleman, although I don't think he's an awful guy, I don't think he was an awful football person because he had 38 years in the league. He's been around us for some Super Bowls, and he's helped build that Carolina team. Not fully, but he helped. And in my understanding, he also helped build the Denver team that went on to win way back with Elway. So the man's been around it, but he's probably lost. The game passed him by the last 2 years, and not going to make excuses that he was sick. He was a little bit arrogant beyond what he was doing. I'm sure he's had help from ownership with screwing things up. But I got to be the first guy to admit I was wrong. Gettleman was overall a bad general manager. The man built teams with no direction and no plan. He tried to draft O-linemen. They weren't good. You got to put it on him. Do I like Daniel Jones? He's a great guy. He's a really good kid. He's classy. He works hard. He's a gym rat. I heard he's in there every single morning right now at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. Coach, GM walk in. They see him. There are no other players in the building. They're all gone on vacation. This man is busting it, trying to achieve his goal, knowing that this is a vital year in his career. The man's smart. He's putting in the work. Listen, he may have the ability. He may not. It's kind of up in the air. But I got to admit, at 6, we kind of reached for him. And it was on Gettleman because none of us really knew much about the guy. We didn't see it coming until maybe the morning of when we started hearing whispers. The guy's handling the pressure in the media of New York pretty damn well. What's going on, G Nation? Thanks for joining. I tell you what, man. Daniel Jones' year is right here. They're not picking up his 5th-year option for a reason. It's a new regime, and they might want to go with their guys. Daniel Jones has not. What's going on, Opinion? Thanks for dropping in, man. That's my man. Check out Opinion. He just popped out another video. Guy's popping out. He's like a video machine. You put a quarter in and a video pops out each day. But dude, Daniel Jones, he has the tools. He has the arm. He has the ability. He has not had the consistent weapons around him. I know this sounds like excuses, and he is not. We all know the O-line has been an absolute disgrace. You make a case the last month of football, the last 5 weeks of this last season, and Jones wasn't in there. But you watch that O-line. Might have been the most disgraceful unit in the entire NFL. That's not far-fetched. It actually might be a fact. So, you can't be a pocket passing play-action quarterback when you don't have a pocket to pass in. And you don't have a running game to speak of. We'll see what goes this year. Daniel Jones might have his last shot. I understand how these things work. And we're not going to reach for a QB in this draft. And I think why they tell you Daniel Jones is their man is because that relieves them of any pressure of trying to reach for these quarterbacks in this draft. Let me tell you something, though. It's simple. The quarterbacks in this draft are not starting QBs in the NFL. They're a 3 to 4 year project, okay? And for the most part, when I look at them, I see backups. A lot of people are big on Malik. A lot of people were nuts about Haskins. Kind of get where I'm going? So, not saying he's exactly Haskins, but I don't think the apple fell far from that tree also. Don't see something special there, man. You can't be reaching again. You go into the draft, you got a 5 and a 7. Now, a lot of people will talk about trade back, and it might be a trade back at 7. But I heard some rumors in the last day or so about the Giants are so in love with Equanu. And we all know they're dying for that monster tackle to stack up on the other side. You might have money in free agency to get a real good guard. The Giants are in love with Equanu. When I say the Giants, I'm talking about Shane Dabo, the guys at the top. Wouldn't be shocked. It's not likely, but wouldn't be shocked that the Giants take their 5 and try to pair up maybe one of their players, a guy like Barkley. It's an option. Or a Bradbury. And another pick in the 3rd round. To move up 2 spots to the Texans, who are the only team in the top 5 that I believe, in the top 4, that I believe will 100% trade back without even thinking about it. Because they don't know what they want, and they need more than 1 spot. They would go back 2 spots to 5. take an extra pick, or get themselves a Barkley or a Bradbury. I know they're looking for a corner. Okay? They're good at 5. They still might get one of the players that they have eyes on. Let's say it's a Hamilton. Let's say it's an lineman. They'll still have a cross there. Let's say it's Thibodeau. He might still be there if the Jets don't take him. The Giants go up to 3. If they're really, truly in love with Equano, they go up to 3 and they get him. They still have their 7th pick. And with the 7th pick, they could go anywhere. They could double down on the line. They could get an edge rusher. I would go defense there at 7. Yeah, a guy like Ajabo, I've fallen in love with. I think Ajabo is special. I think to me, he's far better than Kalafdis. A lot of people don't think so. A lot of people do. I think Ajabo in the long run, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, will grow. His ceiling is so high. He will be much better. So I got him as the 3rd guy in this draft. To me, clear cut, the 3rd best edge rusher in this draft, behind Thibodeau and Hutch. A lot of people got Hutch. I don't think so. To me, Thibodeau is the single best player in this NFL draft, the most dominant player in this draft. Because Hutch is a straight bull rusher. Thibodeau can do it all. And people say he slacks on his run stop. Don't worry. It'll come around. Because when you want to be great, you want to be great. And I believe an athlete like that can become top in the NFL at all phases. I'm a guy who likes Ajabo better than Kalafdis. Maybe the other guys in the blue crew there, maybe they like Kalafdis. They've been on him for a while. That's fine. I respect that. I watched highlights. I did my homework. And I think Ajabo is going to be special. He's the type of guy that might not be great right out the gate, but 2, 3 years down the line with some development, his bending and athletic ability, the way he uses his hands, the guy's a freak. And that's my guy. Some people like Jermaine Johnson. I get it. I love Ajabo. To me, Jermaine Johnson is around 4 to 5. You know what I mean? And you got to consider the guy Walker, who's climbing up the boards fast. The guy's a physical a phenom. The guy's an animal. You get another real good physical player. You never know a few years into the NFL who's going to grow, who's going to be healthy, who's going to develop an all-around game. A lot of it has to do with the other guys that you have on the line and on your defense. Personally, at 7, I'd like to have Ajabo or one of the linebackers. And when I say one of the linebackers, we're talking probably about Lloyd or Dean. And knowing the Giants, Dean is a Giants type of guy. I think Lloyd's a little more physical. I think Dean is a hell of an athlete, probably a little bit wiser. That's their choice, man. Dabo, Shane, that's them. Wink, that's not me. Whoever we bring in, we're going to root for. But again, not likely we trade up, but it's been out there and it's on the table. I believe this guy Joe Shane knows he wants to address the O-line. And I think he's a big guy on defensive linemen also. As you've seen what he's brought into Buffalo the last few years, you know. Their line is stacked. I feel the man has a plan. He knows what he's doing. I think the best thing he could do right now is get us more picks. And if we did hold on to the picks as they are, at 36, I'd like to go back to the line and get ourselves a strong guard. And there's going to be a bunch of them over there. At 36, there will be a handful of guards that we could stack onto this O-line. And now we're finally doing damage. Because I'm a big believer in you keep Lemieux. I like Lemieux a lot. Some people, they want to just get rid of everybody real quick. You don't get rid of the young pieces. You especially got to pay attention to these lines. Both lines. We got to get back to the trenches. Trenches. We build the trenches. We win football games sooner. The O-line. I know we're sick of saying it. The O-line. The O-line. The O-line. You know what I mean? Yeah, the O-line, the offensive line. Some shit we haven't had in 7 years. Same shit that ruined the end of Eli's career. Same shit that's crippling Daniel Jones and Barkley their first few years. The lack of an O-line. I tell you this before. 4 trash bags and Thomas ain't working. Love Thomas. That guy stays here for life. I like Lemieux. Get Lemieux healthy and develop him. I'm assuming that this new regime is going to develop players. The last regime didn't. Another knock on Gettleman. His scouting was bad. And I was a guy who backed Gettleman up. Scouting bad. We stopped developing players about 7, 8 years ago. I don't know why or what happened or who got involved. We haven't been developing. Something we've done throughout our history pretty well. Not something stopped after 2012. Something went wrong. It's an organizational, from top to bottom, an organizational thing. Drafting, I got confidence in Shane that he can draft much better than the last regime. And I got confidence in developing players. And I'd like to develop Lemieux. And I'd like to keep Pert around. And I'd like to develop Pert. We knew when we drafted him it was going to take 3 years. He wasn't going to be able to be plugged in the first or second year. And we tried doing that because we were desperate. Don't ruin the kid. Let him sit, develop. You catch an injury or two, then you'll plug him in. Develop Pert. I'm really high on Lemieux. Go out and get a free agent guard. Get a tackle out of those top 2 picks. Get 1 tackle. I'd like one of the top 3. Evan Neal, which I don't think will be there. Equano's definitely realistic and the one that I would like. And Cross is a beast himself, which might be the guy we end up with at 5. One more thing, man, and this is easy. If Kayvon Thibodeau gets to 5, there ain't fucking shit to think about. Excuse my language, man. You run up and you grab that guy because last year, for months and months and months leading up to the draft, I told you Parsons was going to be the beast of the NFL, a modern-day generational linebacker who also is an animal off the edge, which a lot of people didn't know until he got into the league. Guess what? We passed up on that, and I was irate. If Thibodeau's there at 5, don't make this mistake. You take Thibodeau. You take this animal. I believe he's going to be a game changer off the edge. I believe he's the best player in the draft. You take him at 5, and then you'll worry about the O-lineman or whatever talent that is available at 7. But you don't pass up on a monster edge rusher, a number 1 that we've been talking about. So then Aziz, the number 2 on the other side, grows and gets better off of that number 1. Now you got yourselves a tantrum. Something we haven't had here since we had O.C. Tuck and JPP. Okay? That being said, real quick, Dabo, I'm hearing the guy's approaching this coaching the right way. He's being a coach. He's got a strong voice, but at the same time, he's being friendly. Right? And I'm gonna put the link out for people to call in a few minutes. I'm gonna do a one-on-one thing. I don't want to have 3, 4 at once. Check it out, man. Dabo's reaching out to the players. He's trying to be a player's coach. And I like that he's become pretty close with Kadarius Toney. So what he's doing is he knows Toney's a hell of a talent. And what he's doing is he's connecting with him and he's bringing him in before we even get to the summer. So that this year the kid's going to give you strong football because he's playing for someone that he's tight with and that he likes personally, rather than clown around and sit around and find excuses to sit out. I think you're going to see a strong August out of Toney because Dabo's reached out to him. He's been listening to his rap music. He talks with him. I heard they talk on the phone often. So they've become a little buddy-buddy, and I think that's a good thing. Because today's young players, they don't respond to that strict boot camp type of thing. Once in a while you could get loud with them and it will be effective. But for the most part, these kids today in this world need to be nurtured. They need that positive feedback and they want their coach to be their pal. Listen to some rap and hip hop music with them. Maybe dance once in a while in the locker room. It can't always be, demanding and shooting them down. That tough love thing from the 80s and 90s, it doesn't seem to go today anymore. What's going on, Steve? My brother Steve from the West Coast. So today's players, and I think Dabo's going about it the right way, a way that Judge didn't go about it. And I grew up old school, and I felt that we needed a tough, hard-ass coach to be tough on these guys. I thought it would work. It just didn't work. It doesn't seem to work with these kids today. You could be tough at times, and they'll respond if you had already built a relationship and a friendship with them. These kids today, a lot of them are not old school. They don't respond to tough love anymore. They need positive enforcement. You got to build their confidence by telling them positive stuff. That tough, smack them in the head and give me 100 push-ups, kick them in the air, shit, it don't work anymore. It seems like it doesn't work anymore. And I think Joe Judge got himself in a little trouble with that. I think he lost Tony from the beginning with that. And the fact that Dabo has reached out, speaks to him every night on the phone, listens to his rap music with him, he's connecting deeper with him in a friendly way. And I think that Tony will respond to that. We all know that he's one hell of a talent at wide receiver. He also can play running back. The guy could do a lot of things. Let's see how that turns out. You know what? We'll read some of the stuff. I wanted to talk about one more thing, then I'm going to take some calls. Heard a few about Thibodeau, that he acting like he already made it. And I don't buy that. You're just hearing that from the media. The media always wants to paint the picture one way or the other. There's always agendas. I just don't buy into that. I think Thibodeau is going to be a monster. And the fact that people are putting him second or third, dropping him down to 5, 6, 7, 8, that's going to be a chip on his shoulder. I think that's going to be a positive. Don't trust us there. I agree. Teams are going to put stuff out there to try to get him to drop. So other teams at the top leave a guy like that and let him slide. It's smoke. Kind of like last year when that crap came out about Parsons and he fell all the way down to 10 or 11 or 12, whenever he was taken. Dude, and we passed up on a generational animal linebacker and Parsons, all because he had a dispute with his girl when he was 13. Garbage, nonsense. Just like the night they brought up Tonso smoking a bong during the draft in order for him to fall all the way down, where, to the 20s? Man, a lot of teams passed up on a guy just because he smoked a bong 10 years before that when he was a baby. I'll tell you the one thing, don't trust in this country. Okay? Don't trust the media. The media is bullshit. Smoke and mirrors all the time, man. They gotta sell stories, and half of that crap is lies. And that's not just sports, man. We don't even want to get into the politics. I mean, we all saw a clown out of the circus address the country last night, but I'm not even going to go into that. So, guys, final thing, and then I'm going to have you guys call in. I'm going to put the link in there, man. First come, first serve. I'm doing one call at a time. Allow people to talk. You know my motto. The mic's not mine. The mic is yours. Just provide the platform. The mic's not mine. The mic is yours on the Miz in the Midday. What's up, Big Blue? Thanks for coming in. Check this out. We're building a team. We have a new regime, and we got to give them our trust and let them build it. And I know that's hard because it's been rough the last few years. But this guy is not Gettleman. He's proven himself in Buffalo, man. A hell of a team up there. This guy's gone out and helped get the players. He's got an eye for talent. And there's going to be a lot of players here. There's going to be some players we're going to lose here. Adam, I see you. I know you're first. I'm going to get you on. My final thing is there's going to be players we're going to lose that a lot of us fans like. And number 26 is at the top. Shaquan Barkley, who we drafted and we were thrilled and excited about. A superstar, man. This kid was supposed to go down a Barry Sanders mirror image. Some injuries have hurt him. Not having an O-line has also hurt, but the injuries have hampered him. He'll have 2 seasons since that major injury. So can he come back and be special next year? And yeah, he can. And assuming we're probably going to draft some linemen. Check it out. He knows he's not getting another contract. He knows he's not getting his $14, $15 million a year after next season. He knows that, and the Giants know that. And he might not want to be around anymore because he's not going to get the contract. And he might not want to be part of a rebuild. It's been rough for him here. And you know what? There are teams out there that might offer us a 3. A 3 and a 5, I heard, is the going rate. And if you could get 2 picks for Barkley right now and one of them is a 3, I think you make this trade. It's time to move on. There are a lot of running backs in this draft that we could pick in the 4th round, 5th round. You don't have to have a top 5 pick running back to win in this league. The Giants have to build a team. And 2 more picks would be huge for us. We're not paying the guy. Understand that. We are not paying the guy. So if a boat comes along and wants Barkley and thinks, like Buffalo, thinks that's the final piece for them to go win a Super Bowl, let the man move on. It's better for him, and it's better for us, kind of like what happened with Odell. Take the picks while you could get him. He could come into next season. He could have 4 great weeks, and we could trade him and maybe get a 2. Or he could come into next season, re-injure his leg, and it's over, and we don't get a damn, you don't even get a chocolate chip cookie for him. You got an opportunity to get something and build in this draft, maybe another pick in next year's draft. You go do it. So I think that if there's a chance to move on, as much as I love the guy, man. We all love that player. He's a good kid. He's special. And we wanted to see him win in a special way with the Giants. But it may not happen. And we would have the picks to get more players and go get another running back in the middle rounds. There's a bunch of them out there. Not saying any are Barkley, but then again, we don't even know if Barkley is Barkley or ever will be again. So, I believe this. You're losing a star, but if we want to win football games over having a man that has some highlights here and there, I think we'd rather win. We're tired of losing. Trading Barkley will help us put together a team that wins sooner rather than later. Now, that being said, I'm going to bring in my man. Go check his video out this morning. The hurry up. The only hurry up we know. Adam.
Thank you, Miz. Thank you.
Adam in the house.
How are you?
I'm good, Adam. How are you, man? Even though we talk all day and we never shut up till 1 in the morning with each other, you, me, and Buko. Buko lately has been a little absent. Even in the gym, his mind seems like it's somewhere else. But we'll get him back. Go ahead, man. I know you have a lot to say. I just got things that I wanted to talk about today and actually not have a million people cutting. I think I pretty much touched on a lot of things that were on my mind. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on Barkley. I think let's do him a favor and get him to a winning team, or a team that can use him better, right? Call Buffalo. They need a running back. Their quarterback was the leading rusher on their team. Why not say, hey man, you guys want to negotiate, want to do some business? Now, they may not be the team that does it. I'm just throwing an example out there, but let's see what they can do. As for Joe Schoen, there's a word that guys I would say listen to. He says he wants to be competitive. He never said let's win. He said we want to be competitive this year, which tells me that they're trying to build something. They're not worried about victories, wins, and losses. They're worried about being competitive and building whatever they want to build, their philosophy. And then next year in 2023, when they've sifted through the rubble, they can pick out what they want and go forward with more cap space, more draft picks, things like that. That's what I feel Joe Shane is. Now, don't get me wrong. If we win 7 or 8 games, great. But what I think he said yesterday is very poignant. Is that A, they're open for business, which means, hey, go get your thing. B, they said they wanted to be competitive, which wasn't the word win. It's a lot different to say we want to win, and then you go out there and you lose. So his wording is there's some wording in there that we got to listen to, because I think that's where he's going with it, right? Let's be competitive, because if you trade Barkley, it's going to be hard to have defenses be scared of you when you come out the gate, because they don't know anything yet. Kadarius Toney, we don't know if he'll make it to the start of the year. Kenny Galladay, we don't know if we're going to make it to the start of the year. Right. This is the things that we're talking about here. And then Daniel Jones, we don't know what's going to happen to him throughout the year. And then another thing that he said was the backup quarterback's an important position. I know people hate me for bringing that up, but I believe they want to bring somebody in here to groom, not necessarily to draft and push. Because right now, if Trubisky's pricing himself out of your range and you don't want another Mike Glennon, you might as well draft somebody and have them learn and let him. And if he does accelerate and picks up the offense, great. He can compete with Jones and he can be there. Worst case scenario, you got a competent backup to come in and help out if Jones does leave. So I think those 3 things for me were key takeaways. I'm starting to really enjoy Brian Dable. Every time I hear that guy on the mic, I'm really starting to enjoy him. Like you said before, and congratulations, Logan, on hitting 200 subscribers. What I really like about Dable is like what you said. He's making an effort, but it's not like a half-assed effort like Shermer did with Odell, right? Because Odell was so far gone and so much of a star, Pat Shermer couldn't really rein him in. But with Brian Dable, the things that he talks about, the meeting he had, that Inside the Giants episode 1, where you saw him doing the meeting, and he's like, clap your hands when I say a name or whatever it is, right? To make sure that you're listening in the meeting. Just having an upbeat, positive attitude that's coming out, saying, the whole organization feels a lot better under these guys. I think we're heading in the right direction. And if I'm Giant fans, you got to look at, I hate to say this because people don't like this team in New York. It's like rooting for the Mets if you're a Yankee fan, but the Jets, what they did last year is kind of how I feel we're going to go this year. We don't necessarily need victories. We need the team to improve game by game, and the wins will eventually come. You can't just, put a number on it and say, we want 9, we want 8, because then when they fall short of your expectations, people get mad. People want to, blow things up. We got to know that this season is about one thing, and it's getting better week by week, day by day, play by play, snap by snap. You know what I mean? And letting these young guys build.
Right. No, you're right.
And that's basically all I got, man. I'm excited for the combine. I just want to touch on one thing. The combine, while it is useless in certain things, it is good for certain metrics that are needed for defensive ends and outside linebackers, the 3-cone drill, the shuttle. Those are more things. The 40-yard dash is what's really ruined the combine, because that has been so glorified of, he needs to run a 4.2 and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. I don't care how fast you run a 40, because guess what? You're not running naked on a field anyways. Okay? So your 40 time may look good with shorts and a t-shirt on, but when you get on the field, are you scared because there's a dude actually coming at you? You know what I mean? That's the only thing I don't like about. I'll watch the 40-yard draft, but the combine, the only thing that annoys me is they blow the 40-yard dash out of proportion. There are guys that get a 40-yard dash time, and it'll improve their stock from a second-round pick to a first-round pick because he runs a 4.2. But he can't play football. He still plays like a second-round pick. So you can't let the 40-yard times deceive you. But everything else, the metrics, the bench press, some of those things are needed. You're right. I don't care about a 46 vertical. Only for a receiver. The only time I was impressed was when I first got into the draft in 1996. I heard that in a game that Amani Toomer jumped 36 inches in the air at the combine. I was like, wow, that's cool, because it helps him with the jump ball. I get it. But other than that, I don't really care.
I remember that.
Hey, Miz, great show. You always do good stuff. I'm going to let somebody else come on here. And
Adam, in a hurry up. He has another video out this morning. He usually has 1 or 2 out a week. Check him out. Go sub up. Help the guy grow.
He puts his heart live tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning. Call in around 10:30. I'm just going to give the State of the Union address for the Giants, better than our president. And let's see what happens. If I'm not live, you'll catch me on my hurry up. But I'm trying to be live tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. But guys, see you later, and
Catch
sub
you
up to Miz.
tomorrow. Catch us too. We will have a Blue Scoop Crew stream probably right after the combines, where there's just a bunch of us, and all you guys are welcome to jump in. I'll get you in and out of the panel. I usually hop on in, hop on out. We'll have 5 to 6 of us out there. We'll do a little review on the combines and get ready for free agency. Next up, I have LA Sports is waiting. I have Slay before him, and I'll put the link back in. Let me get Slay. You got Slay, big fan of ours, one of the few Eagle fans we keep around. Right? What's going on?
What up, Miz?
Yeah, boy. What's going on, man?
You want to make it like a little bit of a like the you see the screens there, like the thing.
Yeah.
You click those little things. It'll make the full screen show up.
All right, 1 second.
So they can see me. But what up though, y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I just came on here to discuss about the the combine. Of course, yeah, that's better. That's much better.
Yeah.
But came on here to discuss about the combine. I agree with everything Adam said, though. I can't even lie. He speaks facts. But I think Kayvon. I truly think he's the best player in this draft. I really think he is. I mean, everything that I see from him, this guy just looks like everything you want in an NFL player. He plays with that tenacity. He plays with speed. He's agile. He's quick to get to the ball. He's so fast. He can literally do it all.
Right.
And people like to point out the running game and the rush defense that he was injured. They forget about that. He was injured. And that's one game. They point out one game. What about all the other games?
Well, I don't care about none of that stuff. I look at a guy with my eyes and I know. And this guy is the best player in this draft. To me, he's going to be the most dominant player in the draft. I don't care what anyone says. We're talking about defense, obviously,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he's better than Hutch. I know some of the guys, they like Hutch a lot. He's big. He's not, you look at him, a big, muscular, he's a straight bull rusher.
Okay.
He is only a bull rusher, and that could be a problem in the NFL. You got to develop moves. The guy Thibodeau is an athlete, a beast. He bends. He knows how to use his hands. Some people think he slacks. I don't think he slacks. I think, like you said, he had an injury, and he didn't want to further that injury, which was smart. I believe you're going to get one hell of an edge rusher, whoever gets him. And when people got him falling to 7 or 8, it's all bullshit. There's no way this guy, I pray he gets to 5, Slay, but I don't think so.
I think he's going to the Lions. I think they love him. Like I've been like reading reports on a lot of teams in the top 10, and the Lions really like Kayvon Thibodeau. They like him more than Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
So
I believe it, because he's better than Hutchinson. I'm telling you.
I mean, Hutchinson can bull rush. He can, get off the line pretty quick. He's a good run defender. I just think people see more with Kayvon. He can run, speed there, agility. He has that crazy, nasty hand shot where he just throws people out of the way. Yeah.
Logan said Jermaine Johnson is the next Von Miller.
I agree with that.
Sports said he's smoking some good stuff. Oh man, I tell you, dude, I will fall on the floor if Hutchinson gets to 5. I've said that. And last year how angry I was that we didn't draft Parsons. I was banging on the Parsons door for like 6 months before the draft. I seen things in him that people weren't talking about. He's only a linebacker. People said, no, he's not. He's a beast off the edge, man. I knew it. The guy could do it all. And I see that. I see Thibodeau being that type of player for this draft. Now, I'm not saying he's Parsons, but I'm saying as an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm. I agree with what Logan said. I agree with that. I think Jermaine Johnson, he honestly does look like a young Von Miller when he rushes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Jermaine Johnson, he's gonna be the surprise player where like everyone's gonna be like, oh my god. Like Kayvon, we all know he's probably gonna be good, but Jermaine Johnson, no one's talking about him. That dude is gonna be a monster in this league.
No, there's people. He's been climbing up the boards. I guess they're saying they're looking what around somewhere around 7 to 10, 11, somewhere in
Yeah.
that. I think that like I said earlier, man, I'm very, very. I fall in love with Ajabu.
Yeah.
So that's personally me.
Yeah, I mean,
Logan knows because Logan and I are gonna do a video on him. But
yeah,
I love Ajabu,
his
man.
development,
His flexibility off the edges. He has a chance to be one hell of an athlete off the edge. You got to develop him a little more, but he can grow into a lot more than a lot of these guys over 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
I think it's got to be his development. Like you said, if he gets developed right, he's gonna be amazing in this league.
Right. So don't look at him like week one. Give him a chance, and then let's evaluate him in it by his third or fourth year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to develop, guys. You're not going to get everybody wants to start week one. Come on.
Yeah.
Got to be realistic.
Now, who do you think is the best linebacker in the draft?
The best linebacker in the draft, I think, it's close, right? I think Lloyd. But Dean is right there. Dean is right there, depending on the type of guy you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Lloyd a little more.
And what about Walker, man? Because this guy Walker's like a hitting gem.
Trayvon Walker from Georgia. That dude is big. He's like a hog molly playing defense. That dude is a monster.
He's strong, man. That guy is strong.
Yeah, he's a defensive end.
He's climbing. He's climbing up.
I think
as Eagles, you have 3 picks. Was it 15, 16, and 19?
Yep.
And I could see Ajabu being an Eagle.
I could see that.
Walker's another guy that could be. I'm saying could be.
Mm-hmm.
I like maybe you guys would want Jordan Davis in the middle of your D line. That guy's an animal. And I know one of your picks is going to be a wide receiver. Probably.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more second round or free agency. Because we got a lot of money. We have a lot of money through free agency in the draft. So I don't really think we're going to overload on the receiver position this offseason. Maybe one receiver, that's it.
Well, then you guys can get some good pieces with those 3 picks for sure. Any chance that the Eagles pair up 2 of those picks to move up?
Maybe for it. See, it depends. I don't think it's gonna be for a quarterback. I don't even think Howie Roseman likes the quarterbacks in this class. The only reason he would trade up is if either Kayvon Thibodeau falls or Hutchinson falls, because he loves those defensive ends. And if Kayvon falls, best believe Howie is trading up all of his picks. I mean, not all of his picks, but most of his picks just to get him.
I'm gonna be real, Slade. It's not. I've said this long ago, and a lot of people are going nuts about Malik Willis or Pickens. None of these quarterbacks are the guy that you're like. I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that anyone's jumping up to go get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Willis maybe, but nah. I think it's just too much of a risk. That's what I don't like about this quarterback class. It's just too risky.
I don't like these quarterbacks. You're looking at a project for a few years, and you still don't know if he's going to pan out. Honestly, you have a bunch of Daniel Joneses in this class. Let's be honest. You have a bunch of Daniel Joneses, man. Now, and that's a question. So that's why we stay with Jones one more year. I believe the Giants are saying the right things, showing Dabble, but I believe Jones has one more year. The Giants are looking for a QB in the 23 draft, and that's a real class of quarterbacks right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You guys are good with us. He earned another year. Hurts definitely earned it, to be honest. So
yeah, he's right there. You see him?
I see him.
Hurts. Right there, Hurts. Mm-hmm.
He deserves another year. He played good. You guys went to the playoffs, so nobody can say anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Got to develop more so.
I've heard us. Yeah, we've been rumored to get Wilson a lot. Like it's been going up. I don't know why, but it suddenly increased.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Wilson.
Well, I also hear
Philly
a lot of
500.
rumors about Washington going
Yeah,
after him.
Washington. Philly 500 really wants Russell Wilson. He
I
is
don't blame him.
advocating for
I
that.
mean, if you get a Russell Wilson, you move on from Hurts, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if Russell Wilson takes you guys to a whole nother level, man, you know?
yeah. It's because I feel like we have an offensive line, so it just makes it a lot easier. If we
Russell
didn't,
Wilson can definitely be had. Aaron Rodgers, I always said I never wavered. He's not leaving Green Bay. He's not.
he's just too old. He's 38. I wouldn't trade for him.
No.
I mean, I wish you. Well, I don't wish you guys traded for him, but if he was there with you guys, that's like 1 year maybe or 2 years. So
He ain't going
it's
nowhere.
not good for any young team who trades
He'll
for
be
Rodgers.
right there in Green Bay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stay there. He's not going anywhere. Him and Adams will be in Green Bay. Try to make one more run. He's not leaving Green Bay. And the Giants ain't looking for a 38-year-old core. You know they're not. The Giants will get their quarterback in the 23 draft. I promise you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're not winning the Super Bowl this year anyway, so we might as well build up the trenches. That's all.
Yeah. I heard your GM said he doesn't want a quick rebuild. Is that what he said?
Well, I think that they're saying that because to prepare the fans that, don't be expecting championship next year or playoffs. Whatever happens. But, we have to build up. I know that it's going to take 2 or 3 years. I mean, you have to be realistic. People have to be realistic. We've tried to fix things quick every year, and it failed every year. So that's not the way, that's not the way it's going to happen. So
yeah,
I like these guys. I think we have football guys finally. So
yeah. Hey man, the only team that I think isn't going to be really that good. I think you guys are going to be like around that 6 to 7 win range this year. Yeah. Just a little bit of an increase. Washington, maybe like 6, 7 games around where you guys are. The Cowboys, honestly, I think they're going to have a drop off because they're going to probably get rid of Randy Gregory. They're going to get rid of some of the guys on that defense, some of their offensive players. Amari Cooper, we don't know what they're going to do with him. That team is going to look completely different. I think it's a wide open division this year.
Yeah, what's going on, Cookie Monster? I think that Dallas is a good team, but I don't think they have a long window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of problems with money and players. So I think Dallas will have one more season here, but they're about to lose a bunch of players too, So
yeah, they got Zeke on a big contract, and they got to pay Dak a whole lot of money.
I think they regret that contract with Zeke. He's on the decline, and Pollard is a free agent, right?
Who?
The running back was it Pollard?
Oh, Pollard. I don't.
Yeah, he's a free agent, I believe. I don't think they're bringing him back.
Contract. Let me see. He signed a 4-year deal with the Cowboys, including I don't know when was this though. So he got drafted in 2019, and then he signed a 4-year deal. That was his rookie year. 2020, 2021. Now it's 2022. So next year.
One more year.
He'll be an unrestricted free agent next year.
All right.
But yeah, man, that team is gonna look different.
You got anything else you want to close out and bring on LA Sports? He's been waiting.
Yeah, man. You can bring him on. Appreciate you for having me on, Miz. Go Birds as always. Good content. Yep.
Support this man, little big Slay right here. He's
man.
Good. He's one of ours, and good football mind. To be honest, definitely a good football mind for his age.
Appreciate you for having me on, man. You have a great night.
Right. LA Sports, my man. What's going on?
What's going on, Miz? How's it going?
I'm all right. Everything's good, man. We're having a good day here. A little football talk.
Yep.
And what's going on? The mic is yours. It's been a long time since I spoke to you. How you been?
Yeah,
good?
It's been a while. We're getting close to the draft, free agency, so
things are starting to pop off. The Giants are going to make cuts. Giants are going to make a lot of cuts. I know people will know that.
Yep.
And then you just got to sit back and you have to support this new regime because I think that when you've been losing the way we've been losing, you kind of got to clean the poison out, you know?
Yep, I agree, and I think there's still going to be quite a bit of cuts. And I hope they can. I hope they can trade Bradbury instead of cut him because I think he's worth something. He's still, if he turns it around and has the season he had in 2020, you're looking at a top 5, top 10 cornerback in the league. So I don't think you could just throw him for nothing. I think you got to try and get something, even if it's a 5th round pick. I think you got to take what you can get because I have a feeling he's not going to be back next year regardless. So if he's not going to be back, I think you absolutely have to get something for him. I don't think you could just, dump him.
Well, yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I think they really want to get his money off of our cap. I hope that they can get something for him. Teams might know that the Giants might be cutting him, so they might not bite and they might wait.
Yeah.
But like I said, even if you get a 5th rounder for him, just do it. Just add another pick to this draft,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, especially because I think they should cut Caden Smith. I mean, you save a little over $2.5 million, and if you cut him, that leaves you with no tight end. They have that one guy. He got the touchdown against the Eagles. I don't remember his name, Myrick or something like that. He would be the only tight end left on the roster. So if you can get an extra 5th round pick, maybe they draft 2 tight ends instead of 1 because you're gonna need tight ends on the roster because you don't really have any. And of course you can go and get one in free agency, but is that the way you want to spend your very limited money? Probably not. But we'll see what happens.
I think I'm just looking for this name I saw today. They said that the Giants already have a running back lined up now that they cut Booker. I believe it's the guy Williams from Buffalo.
Oh, they already signed him.
Oh, they signed him already.
Yeah, they signed him like a day or 2 after they brought in Shane. Like it was instant.
So that slipped by me. Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
Well, he's what? Yeah. He would be a backup. Am I right?
Yeah, he'd be a backup, and Brightwell's he's a 2nd-year player, so hopefully they can get him.
And this guy Williams right here is 6 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
6 years younger than Booker. Williams is from Buffalo.
What's his first name, just to make sure?
He's only making $825,000 for the year, so he's not even cracking $1 million.
Which is it, Antonio or something?
Yeah,
Antonio Williams. Yeah,
Antonio Williams, $800,000 for the year. He's 6 years younger than Booker, so I would say it's a good move.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, he obviously has familiarity with Dable and Shane.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Giants power runner. Williams is a power runner, so yeah, that's good. Listen, man. I was never married to Booker. I could care less. I knew it was a 1-year stopover.
Yeah, they had to get rid of him especially because you can get backup running backs for cheap, and you already have Brightwell, so it made too much sense because Shane's got to get to that 40 million number, which means he's still trying to clear up 30 to 35 million. So they're going to have to figure something out. But, yeah, Booker had to be cut.
I don't think we're getting a 40 million number. I really don't. I think we're getting to 32 million, 33.
No, I think they could because there's some smaller cuts they can make. There's a lot of because Martinez and Bradbury alone is 20.5 or 20.6 million. So that's a good chunk. They have Caden Smith and Riley Dixon. That's another 6 million. And that brings you to 27 million. They already cut they already cut 2 guys that saved over 7 million. So I mean, there's some smaller cuts they can make. O'Shane Zimenez, I don't know if he's back next year. There's a whole bunch of guys you could look at. TJ Brunson, he's coming off a torn ACL. I don't know how you keep that guy. He saves you $955,000. So that's a cut. Almost $1 million. That's a cut that I think is an obvious one because there's players you can find for a little bit cheaper that can maybe do something. There's a ton of guys. Maybe Slayton is not back next year. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I think Slayton's an interesting one.
Slayton.
Yeah. And of course,
that's going to be interesting. Slayton and of course, this Barkley decision is going to be big.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to trade Barkley.
Okay.
I think Shane's just trying to kind of put it out there.
See what kind of offers.
Yeah, see what he can get. But I just don't think. I mean, if you're getting a 3rd round pick for Saquon, to me, you're better off holding him and you get your comp pick if he leaves in free agency next season.
That's true.
That's just the way I see it.
Want to hold on to him, see what he does next year, but I just don't think, even if he has a good year, I just don't see the Giants paying him.
Yeah, well,
we will have 93, 94 million next year.
Yeah, that's why I think there's a small possibility, and I think there's a better chance if Barkley has a good season this year. I think there's a better chance he's back than people make it seem, because people, realistically, if Barkley leaves, who's going to be the running back? It's going to be a guy you're still going to have to pay to be a starting running back. You're going to still have to pay him $5, $6, $7 million, maybe even more. You don't even know what you're going to get from that guy. Who knows? If the Giants win 9 games and Barkley's a big part in that, I don't think he leaves unless he personally wants to leave.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I get that.
They're liable to draft a running back in this draft in the mid rounds. There's going to be a lot of running backs in the mid rounds. You don't have to have a 1st round running back.
No, yeah, I agree. But James Cook is a guy, to look out for. He's the Georgia running back. He's Dalvin Cook's brother. He's good.
And what round was he projected?
He's going in the mid rounds, 4 to 5. He's a guy I would look at. The same as the guy from Alabama, Robinson.
All right, Robinson. I like Robinson.
Yeah, those 2 guys. If they're going to take a running back,
how about Haskins from Michigan?
Yeah, him too. So if they're going to take a running back at some point in the draft, it's got to be one of those 3 guys, or else I just wouldn't do it.
Well, if they do take a running back in those mid rounds, then the writing's on the wall for Barkley. Just about. Now, if Barkley has a healthy, exceptional year, the Giants can always tag him the following year.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. I think a franchise tag with Barkley would make sense. And I see Giant Opinion Sports. I saw a mock with Cook going in the 2nd. Yeah, you see him kind of going a little early, but it seems like the main guys they got him going in the 4th round. But hey, I mean, people hype up the combine and maybe he does something and moves up draft boards. But he's not going to be a guy that goes in the 1st or 2nd round, in my opinion.
Right. So what do you like? 5? I haven't heard what would you want at 5 and 7? Say we stay put. Let's just say for now we stay put at 5 and 7. Well, what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, I hope we don't stay put. But if we do stay put, and Kayvon,
what do you want? You want to trade back?
Yeah, I want to trade back.
Which one? Both?
Thinking realistically, I'm both if we can, but that's probably not realistic.
Right.
So thinking
7?
realistically, I would trade back 5. The only way, if Kayvon Thibodeau's there, you don't even think about it. You just take him. You can't even think. But if he's not there,
training you on that one.
Yeah, if he's not there though, I think 5 has more.
What if you have Equano there? What if Equano's there at 5? This guy's a beast tackle.
See, that's the thing. It depends who you're trading with, because if you're trading, we know the Panthers are more than likely they're not going to go with a tackle. They're more than likely not going to take Equano.
Some people think that they are looking for a tackle. Some people think they might take a bite on a quarterback, but I don't know.
That's what I think. See, I think they're gonna go with the quarterback because I think it's kind of desperation there in Carolina. I don't think they have a quarterback in Darnold and Newton. Those guys are both not an answer. I think they're going quarterback, and I think if there's a team that's trading up that doesn't need a tackle, I think you could take a chance that he'll be there at 7. So we'll see what happens, but ultimately, you know, a lot of people are a lot of mocks have Neal and Ekwonu going in the top 4 picks, and if that's the case, I personally, unless we trade back to the mid-teens, high teens, I wouldn't even take a tackle. As crazy as it sounds, I would go with Linderbaum, and I wouldn't take a tackle because of how good the value is in the 2nd and 3rd round in terms of guards and tackles. So that to me is interesting. I don't really – I'm not a huge fan of Cross. I know a lot of people are. I don't love Cross.
Okay.
But I think the Giants should go with if Ekwonu's there, they go Ekwonu and best defensive player available. And in my opinion, the best defensive player available, assuming Thibodeau is off the board, and of course Hutchinson. I really like Nakobe Dean. I really do.
Okay.
I like him better than Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
He played against better schools. So to me, I just like Nakobe Dean better than Devin Lloyd, and I think
right.
If
normally Dean's more of a Giants type of guy, to be honest.
Yeah. We always go with Georgia Bulldogs, and if you were able to get Nakobe Dean, Don Martindale would make a mess. I mean, they would have guys flying around the field. It would be amazing. And I think one thing to actually look out for that a lot of people are not reading into as much is Kyle Hamilton or Derek Stingley Jr. Because assuming we cut Bradbury, if you look at the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens, the way that they've been built defensively, it's been around the secondary. And if you lose your best cornerback and your best safety in Jabril Peppers and James Bradbury, you'd have to fill a gap there. So I think the Giants take a defensive back at some point in the top 3 rounds, but that's just my opinion.
All right, yeah, I do not want a secondary player in the first 2 rounds. I'll be honest, but if they see someone they love, I just think we have drafted so many secondary players. I believe we have young corners that we can develop. Mm-hmm. We need to develop them that are sitting on our team. Holmes, Robinson, the kid we got in the 6th round last year from Texas.
Rodarius Williams.
Yes, okay. And you have McKinney in the safety position. Yep. And I love Love, and I know Wink is going to definitely use Love all over the place. So you got to keep him.
Yep.
So we have players. There is no reason why we have to run up and draft a Hamilton just for some people that are thinking about it. I do not want that. I think it's time the Giants address this O-line. And, of course, you can never say no to a top linebacker or edge rusher. So I have no problem with those 3 positions. That's what I want us to do in the first round.
Yep. Makes total sense. And something that kind of interests me is and kind of I question is what's going to happen with Kafka and Martindale beyond this season. Because if they're going to be here somewhat long term, you have to give them some say in these picks, in my opinion. Right. Especially Martindale because of what he's been able to do with defenses. And if you're going with the best defensive player with one of those picks, I think you really got to ask Martindale his opinion if he's going to be here long term, which I think he is. I think he's at a point in his career where he's getting up there in age, and I think he's going to kind of hang around. The Giants aren't going to be a top defense in the league that's going to make him stand out as a coaching candidate, as a head coaching candidate. So it's interesting.
Right? No, I think these guys are gonna be here for a while.
Yeah,
I
I
can
hope
tell
so.
you that. So
Yeah, I hope so. They're building a really nice looking staff. There's no question about it. And one guy that's interesting is in terms of free agency, because of the ties he has to Kafka, is Byron Pringle. A lot of people talk about him. I think he's a possibility, but I think he's less of a possibility than people make it seem. He's gonna get paid. I mean,
right.
He's gonna get a decent paycheck. He put up some good numbers, and the only way I could see the Giants really getting him is if Slayton is traded or cut. I don't think you bring him in on top of Slayton, Tony, and Galladay.
Right. I don't know. I'm excited because I feel like these guys have a plan. I feel like we have more of a plan with these guys than we've had in years, and they haven't even started yet. So I just have this confidence about it. You know, like you take what they've done in Buffalo, and you could tell. I don't know. Shane looks like a football guy. Dabo looks like a football coach. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
I think we're definitely gonna trend upwards,
Mm-hmm.
and it might take some time. And as far as the season next year, we could win more games than we think because the schedule is so easy.
I agree, and we have a lot of pieces that, like, honestly, we just had injuries.
Right. We have a lot of talent that was injured last year. And if they could get together and want to play and be healthy, and if you could roll off a win or two in your first 3 or 4 games, these players, I'm a big believer in this. I've said this before. When you're losing, you tend to get injuries because people don't want to play anymore.
Yep.
You're not excited to, I'm hurt, but I can play through it. When you're winning, you have a whole different mentality.
Yep.
And I'm not saying we're going to win playoffs and that, but I would not be shocked if the Giants won 9 games next year. I would not.
Yeah, with our schedule, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, there's some teams on the schedule, and even the difficult teams. If you take a look at some of the top teams we have to play this season, they're all teams that have question marks at the quarterback spot. The Packers, the Seahawks, some of the best teams on our schedule, they have some question marks at the quarterback spot. The Vikings, we don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback or go along with Kirk Cousins. We don't know. It's interesting. I think the NFC East is wide open, though. I mean, I don't think there's a team that's, powerhouse.
Right. I mean, a lot of things have to happen between now and then, so we'll see. But I'm definitely excited about what we're doing. Even the cuts, I'm excited because I know that they have a plan and they've already. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they sit down with the coaches. Like you're saying, the coaches get a chance to pick somebody also because they're going to be here a while. Like Wink. Yeah, I'm sure they've sat down and drew up a list of players that they think project are going to be around when they pick and have asked the defensive coach, okay, who are the guys you would want in the first, second, or third? And I asked the offensive guy, Dabo probably plays a role in that. Which guys are you interested in? We're going to need linemen. It's probably at the top of our menu. So, let's look at the guys that we project to be there at 5, 7, 36. You know what I mean? Of course, if there's an offer for a trade, they'll do it. But, just giving you an idea. I'm pretty sure they've sat down and already put together a list of names.
Yep.
I expect them to go after a guard in free agency. I do.
Yeah, and I was just going to talk about that. There are some good ones.
Right.
There are some good ones. Bosman from the Ravens is a beast.
I did a video on him. I don't know if you saw it.
I watched that. He is huge, and he's versatile. He could play the center. He could play both guard spots. He's huge.
Be nice to get a real center in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alex Kappa is one to look out for. Ryan Jensen is another name to look out for.
Exactly. Might be a little bit out of our price range, but
yes, I agree. But his price may be a little bit down. It might be down just a little bit. But we'll see if some of these guys hang around for a week or two in free agency. Giants got to jump on some opportunities, and I think we've heard Shane say he's not going to spend, but I still think he's going to be a conservative spender. I think if there's a guy that's there that he wants to get and he expends a little bit more and he thinks he's going to make a huge difference on this team, I think he does it. He doesn't seem like a guy that rules everything out. And he talks like he's open to everything. And I have a feeling I actually have a feeling that he's going to trade back with one of those picks. I really do.
I have a feeling that we're going to go back from 7.
Yeah, just the way he talks, you could hear that he's open to it, and almost like he wants.
Don't be surprised, man, if we go up from 5 to 3 because the Texans are looking. They don't have a clue who they really directly want, so they would be willing to drop back 2 spots. Yeah. And we would give them something. We still keep our 7, and we trade the 7 back. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
I think that they are in love with Ekwonu, from what I hear, and the Jets are also eyeing Ekwonu, and I think the Giants would hop the Jets at the last minute to go to 3 to get that guy.
Mm-hmm. The only way, though, that it makes sense for us to trade up is if we trade back with the other pick, because you don't want to lose capital.
Check it out, man. If Thibodeau's gone in the first 2.
Yep.
If Thibodeau is gone in the first 2 and the only guy left for the Jets is Ekwonu, I could see the Giants hopping them for Ekwonu.
Yeah.
Quietly.
I could see
because I don't think they want one of those 2 guys at 5. And if those 2 guys are gone, then there's no reason to even draft at 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the price has to be right. They can't give them.
This would be the price. You're probably going to have to give up your 36.
Yeah, which I wouldn't do.
Now, if you could get them to bite on a 3rd rounder instead of the 36.
Yeah, if it means trading 36, to me, you don't do it.
Or if they're interested in a Bradbury or a Barkley, I would do it.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'll give you my 5. I'm going to throw you Barkley. How do you like that? You get yourself a potential help if he's healthy, a star running back. I'll give you that. You give me your 3rd and throw me a middle round pick.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Like a 4.
I don't know if I'd trade Barkley right now just because of how low his value is.
I'm just throwing out ideas because I really think from what I'm hearing, and I'm also big on this, at 5, you have to have one of those 2 guys, Ekwonu or Thibodeau. And if Thibodeau's already gone to the Lions, let's say, you have to see what you could do. You make the phone call to the Texans because I'm telling you, if Ekwonu's the only one left, the Jets are scooping him up.
Yep.
And now you're coming away with nothing. Who are you left with at 5? And if you don't have a trade back partner, you're forced to take Cross.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could do a lot. You could take Cross. You could take, you could go with Stingley, Hamilton, all those guys. I mean, you could.
Man, if we get Hamilton at 5, I'm telling you right now, man, it will be a lot of people will be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I know he might be the most athletic talent in the draft. I get it. Man, the Giants, I'm telling you, man, I'm sorry. I know maybe people don't want to think this way. We got to come away with the tackle or Thibodeau at 5 or Hutchinson. I don't think he'll be there. So it's got to be one of those guys, man. You got to have one of the powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
Or Neil, but I'm a lock that Neil's going 1. That's my lock.
Oh, yeah. Neil's going 1. The only way Neil doesn't go 1 is if something comes out on him and I don't know.
And they're crazy. I'd love to have Neil. I'd love to.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think Ekwonu's right there with Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Giants are realistic that Neil will be gone. Ekwonu's the guy. And that's why I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked. There's whispers. The Giants would make a phone call to the Texans to see what it would take.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Shane is stupid. He's not going to do some stupid shit. But if you could get them to drop 2 spots, and it's only 2 spots, and word is that the Texans would like Hamilton, he'll be there for them at 5.
Yep.
You throw them something else, whether it's a player. I know they want a corner. Maybe you could get them to take Bradbury. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
The
know
only
the
thing.
money's the issue.
Yeah. The only thing is, Bradbury's not going to be here much longer. So if that's the case, if Bradbury's in that type of trade, it's going to be within the next month, which I don't know if it's going.
I think that trade only goes down on draft night.
Yeah, see that's why I don't think Bradbury's on the Giants on draft night.
Yeah, that's a draft night trade. It's a spontaneous thing that happens in those 10 minutes leading up to their pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants pick up the phone. We really want Iquanu. We want to come up to the third to get him because we know the Jets want him.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to take, man? It's not a quarterback we're going after. So you're only going back 2 spots, so you're not getting the house.
No, yeah, it can't be a lot. For me, a 3rd round pick at the max.
It's 1 pick, man. It's going to be 1 pick. If it's the 3rd, you might have to throw something else in there. So if you're saying it's the 3rd and they really want the 36, you're going to have to throw them the 3rd and maybe another pick next year. I'm talking about a middle round pick, nothing significant,
Yeah.
To make them feel happy,
Yep.
It might be worth it because you're getting a franchise tackle. Now
Yep.
you both the size of your line are locked down, man.
Yeah. But you would have to make sure that 100% Iquanu's good to play right tackle, which I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is, man. And then you get a guard in free agency. You could get another guard in the 2nd or 3rd round. And I'm a believer that Lemieux can develop into something pretty good, Lemieux. So I think the Giants will have themselves. Now the Giants are cooking with a real O-line.
I think Gates is going to actually do something. A lot of people rule him out. It sounds like he's ahead of schedule, and
Right.
I honestly think that he's going to be able
come back to play guard, man. Gates can play guard.
Yep, he could play guard. He could play center. He could do whatever you need him to do.
And if you trade 7 back, if you do get a trade back for 7 into the mid-teens, and you get the extra picks, dude, I mean, don't close your eyes to Lindenbaum.
Yep.
You get yourself a franchise center. You now have gone from the worst O-line in the league to at least top 10.
Yep.
In one offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a nice thing. If you really want to give Jones and Barkley a chance here, then that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
All right, we'll round it up. This was a good time, man. Thanks for joining me. I appreciated that you came on. Good chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Today is probably the work week. I like to do something in the midday. It's not that serious right now. Next week after the combines, we will have a blue scoop at night where we'll have a lot of the guys on at night, and I'll be switching people in and out, but we'll have a 6-man panel. So join us. I'll definitely send it to you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on. And we'll talk soon.
Be good, man.
See ya.
All right, guys. That was the Miz in the midday. A little football schmooze today. A couple of cuts and things are happening. Giants will be making a lot of moves in the next few days, so it is what it is. That's the Miz in the midday. I'm out.